have an easy experience. And you know what the greatest honor I've ever received as a player is? In my 4th year and my 5th year, I was named team captain.
Just before Frizzell got him, and a leaping interception by Woodson, who got a foot down somehow inbounds.
Thomas, touchdown, Wolverine.
Nice call.
Here's a look at Boston and Woodson on the outside. They're just standing there, now they're fighting.
One man. Goodbye. Hello, Heisman.
Plant their flag in the middle of the Ohio State field, and the Buckeyes rushed right.
Play fake. McCarthy scanning downfield and throws it high, and Wilson's got it. Roman Wilson weaving down inside.
There it is. They won't pull that down. Chris, as they say in Ann Arbor, conquering heroes, victors valiant, Michigan, national champion.
Happy Thursday, Michigan Nation. What's going on, Kyle? How are you doing today, brother?
Nothing, man. I'm doing great. I'm having a good time. This is technically still a Victory Thursday, so it was
pretty ugly weekend for the state of Michigan after the Lions got absolutely bombarded by J.J. McCarthy, which Twitter became very quiet.
He's right up there.
Twitter became very quiet with the J.J. McCarthy hate, but I guess when no Ohio State quarterback won a game this weekend, and
classic,
the quarterback who cheated did it quiets you down.
Yeah, there you go.
But
I'm doing great. How are you, Mike? How is Michael?
I'm doing excellent. So I didn't know if you watched Monday night. Michigan kicked off their basketball season against Oakland.
Yep.
So I'm going to throw you over to the side here. So Michigan State played too, and Michigan State got a victory.
Mm-hmm.
It always sucks to see anything MSU win.
That's true.
But when I seen the score, and it was against Colgate, so it's not like they were playing Duke, I couldn't help but laugh because by halftime, Michigan was only 11 points away.
Yep, and had the same score as Colgate.
Yeah, and it was they broke the record for most points in the first half of basketball. The team looked great. True freshman.
Trey McKinney.
Yeah, looked great. Believe out of the state of Michigan, huge pickup. And same thing with the transfer Johnson. This kid's a beast.
Yeah,
just a beast. I would not want to run into him and make him mad.
Those are some good-looking stats, too.
Dusty May, he is building a monster in Ann Arbor, I think.
Let's do it.
In this new era of NIL,
yep,
you have the finances and the money. Why not? And Dusty's May's son hit a 3-pointer too, so it was pretty cool to see that moment.
Oh, nice.
You could see the reaction on May's face, just all smiles.
Proud papa.
Oh yeah, why not? If your son's gonna hit a 3-pointer for Michigan, what's not to be? And he gets a dynamite education.
There you go.
Doesn't cost you nothing. Not that he's too worried about the couple thousand or 100,000 is going to cost him with that paycheck.
That's true.
But excellent start to Michigan men's basketball. Michigan women's basketball put up 100 points. I forget who they played, but they blew them out. So all in all, both basketball teams look like it's going to be very exciting for U of M basketball this year.
Good.
So let's get into the debacle that was last Saturday. We're not going to spend too much time on it. They got the win.
Yep.
And I guess that is half the battle.
You know, there was a very, very relevant Dr. Pepper, they do the Fansville college football commercials, and they were at the coach's front, like on his stoop, saying like, get out of here, your house is for sale. He's like, guys, we won. He's like, yeah, but not by the amount we were supposed to. And then this ended up happening, and I thought the commercial was kind of funny. And then at the end of the game, I was like, man, I get it. That was a rough one. That was a rough game. There were parts like around halftime where I was like, man, like we might lose this football game. Bryce was showing he wasn't correcting any mistakes he was making.
Bryce was and how can I even put this? He showed exactly what he was, a true freshman quarterback in this game.
We said at the beginning of the season, hopefully by this part of the season, he wouldn't be a true freshman anymore. And I think that was either pride or naivety on our part, because he is definitely still playing like a true freshman.
That first half, I think it was the second series where he missed Zach Marshall wide open.
Yep.
Where he could have ran for the first down.
Yep.
And he decided to throw it to him. I think he missed. I got it here. I forget his. Let me see. Where's his name? The true freshman Boulder. He missed him streaking down the field wide open.
He sure did. Yep.
I think he missed McCauley in the corner of the end zone where it was about 4 yards short.
Yep.
But
he missed him over the middle too.
Yeah.
Later in the game.
I think he got hit on that. He missed a Klein one.
Yep. And multiple like 3rd and 6 passes, and their third down conversion rate was terrible. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I just, like, every single time he threw the ball and it wasn't caught, I was just like, again. It was take some. He's still putting too much mustard on it. He's throwing laser beams when he doesn't have to. I believe that's called touch. He doesn't really have the touch yet.
So Michigan was 5 for 12 on third downs. And their average yards gain, let me see, 6.1 was their third down to go distance average.
So think about all those third downs. Think about those 7 third downs. They were all 3rd and 6s at least, not all on average anyways.
But this has been the problem all year, and I don't even. What I'm getting tired of, and I watched, and as I was at the game, there was a lot of. I kept flicking to Twitter, and it was, it's Chip Lindsey, it's Sharon Moore. It wasn't them.
They're not out there throwing the ball to receivers and missing them.
And I had a buddy call me when I was at the game. This is terrible. This is that. Moore's got to go. I'm like, have you been watching the same game I have?
Yeah, right.
And maybe because where I was sitting, guys were open. Lindsey was calling the right plays. Moore was calling the right plays. Underwood just missed.
I mean, you could blame the coaches on not having their player prepared, not having them working on certain mechanics or trying to have them ready to play. But when it was, I don't know any of that. I didn't see that with my eyes. What I did see with my eyes was Underwood missing wide open receivers consistently.
And he was like that one drive where he could have ran for the first down and Zach Marshall broke free and he missed, like he threw it a good 5 feet over his head.
Yep.
And I was just like, that can't happen. Like at this point, that can't happen. But again, he's 18 years old.
The fumble through the end zone was a heartbreaker for me.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going to score. We're just going to give it to Marshall and, easy 6 points. And then the ball comes out and it goes through the end zone. It's like turnover, touchback, end of drive. Like, man.
Oh yeah, like the first half was god awful.
Yeah, it was. And I wouldn't say the second half was good, but at least they scored enough points to, stopping the 2-point conversion was huge, because then it would have been more pressure, because then we would have been within a field goal. But, time ran out and we had more points than Purdue did. It's a Big Ten win, try and take some positives out of it. Hopefully, I hate to sound like a broken record, but hopefully they learn from some of these mistakes. Hopefully Bryce does. Hopefully the coaching staff can figure out how to communicate and coach him up for these upcoming games. We got a week off. They have tons of time to practice. I'm hoping they're making the best of their time. I know they are. This is Michigan, they're not just sitting around waiting for Northwestern. But Northwestern has a challenge this week in USC. Maryland, who Michigan plays after that, I believe plays Rutgers this week. So I can't see them getting wins. So Michigan should win these next 2 games, but I don't know by how many. I don't know how confidently they're going to win these games, because I feel like it's just another 2 teams that were in the same tier in the Big Ten as Purdue. And what we saw on Saturday was bad football, to say the least. Like, it was not fun to watch.
It wasn't fun to watch. It was definitely bad football. It was, what it was? It was the offense just not executing. But there was some good. Zach Marshall graded out as one of the highest, or the highest tight end in Week 10.
Boom. Take what we can get.
So that's outstanding. He played very well. He should have had a lot more. If Underwood could actually hit him, he would have had a lot more catches.
He's definitely, I believe, surpassed Klein as the number 1 receiving tight end.
Well, Klein and Hansen just can't stay on the field.
Yeah.
Klein
a lot of injuries too happened on Saturday. Dealing with a lot of injuries from like Haynes and Rolder not even playing, but then Barham and McCulley both getting hurt in the game, and a handful of other Wolverines just kind of added on to the whole like disarray that I was feeling. Like I was so disillusioned watching that game where we couldn't complete passes and guys kept going out hurt. And thank God for Jordan Marshall for carrying the team on his back.
We played 9 true freshmen and another 7 redshirt freshmen in that game. And I'm not talking like 2 or 3 snaps. Like these guys got snaps.
Yeah, they got the majority of them. Yeah, that's true. That's something we can look at as a positive. Like we still came away with a win with a lot of inexperience on the field, covering up for injuries. And
what this is going to do, at this point, let's be 100% honest. This is not looking like even a playoff team. We're not going to even use the N-word.
Let's not use N-words.
No, but playing this many true freshmen and guys that are going to be back next year, coupled with the guys coming in, and I think they're going to do a lot in the transfer portal to help Underwood out.
Mm-hmm.
This team's going to be much, much different next year, I think.
Well, and we came into this. I thought they were going to have 2 losses.
One.
I thought they were going to have 1 loss going into the Ohio State game. You thought they were going to have 2 losses going into the Ohio State game. Hopefully one of us can still be right. Well, hopefully, yeah, exactly right, because I know I'm not.
Yeah.
But it just still I know there's only 4 weeks left of college football, but I still feel like it's too early to start looking to next year. But you're absolutely right. Like I think we already kind of have to. We are in charge of we're kind of in charge of our own destiny and not for making the playoff. All we got to do is win. We got to win out. But That's easier said than done, especially with that last game of the year coming up. Looming.
How good has this kid been?
Amazing. The fact that he's our RB2 and he's playing like this, next man up mentality. I know I'm starting to get sick of that moniker, I guess, for both the Lions and Michigan. But he's playing lights out. He's a tough runner. He runs right up the gut. He runs right at people. He's got breakaway speed when he needs it. He's got power when he needs it. And he was exactly what Michigan needed to take down the Boilermakers.
So I think he played 51 snaps. Jasper Parker, true freshman, played 4 snaps.
Yep.
Like, they're getting production from a lot of young guys.
Yep.
And it's going to be great for the future. It might suck right now because I think you're seeing it on the field, what it looks like.
Yep.
When you're forced to play these young guys.
And sports is a what have you done for me now lately? You know, what have you done for me lately business?
All in all, I don't mind.
Yeah. I mean,
it sucks to watch it on the field. And I'm not saying like, yeah, I'm giving up on the year. But when you have this many injuries, and I think at one point you have 3 freshmen starting on the offensive line, or 4 freshmen starting on the offensive line out of 5, it's going to make it very tough to do anything. It sucks that the offense reminds me of a lot of last year, where we're depending so much on the running game to carry us for any kind of points.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been nice to see Underwood being able to hit a lot of those passes. He's not.
Let's hope
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
18 years old, true freshman. Next year at this time, if we're having the same conversation, this is going to sound a lot different.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, like they got a lot of time to rest. They got a lot of time to heal, both mentally and physically, from a game where they probably thought they were. I'm not saying they didn't take their opponent serious, because I think it just was proven by bad quarterback play. But Bryce, if he is the player we think he is, not just physically but mentally, and a guy who's mature beyond his years, hopefully he can, the coaching staff and him can figure out a way to learn and move on from this Purdue game. And like, we do have to remember, like you said at the beginning of the pod, like, we won the game. So it's a mark in the right column. It's a check in the right column. But we just need to make sure that this game doesn't happen again. This is
feeling a lot like deja vu, right? Nebraska, if they would have hit a couple more plays, it would have felt different. Michigan State, a couple of those plays hit, it feels different. Now Purdue, a couple of those plays hit, it feels different, right? Even Washington, a couple more of those plays hit, we're having a different conversation.
Yep.
It's a constant if. What we were hoping by now is those plays that weren't hitting at the beginning of the season would start to hit. But they're not. And it's frustrating.
It's true.
It's frustrating, but we found guys like, well, I shouldn't say found, like Marsh is going to be a stud.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall's going to be a stud.
Mm-hmm.
Underwood, I still think he's going to be a stud. I think once it clicks, and I'm not going to sit here and try to be like these quarterback gurus and, as soon as this happens. To me, it's almost like his eyes, he's not trusting what he's seeing yet. And once he does and the game slows down a little bit, I think that's when it's going to click and you're going to see him a lot different. And what sucked for Underwood was he's learned on the fly. It's like an apprenticeship, right?
Yep.
He got thrown into the fire. Would it have been nice if we had a quarterback last year who came back, who could actually throw a forward pass?
Right.
And he could sit behind him for the first 3 or 4 games and then took it over, kind of like what Trevor Lawrence did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his team. Yeah, that would have been great. But the guys they picked up in the portal never worked out. They weren't going to take the job. Mikey Keene, I think the Fresno State transfer, he was never – I don't even think he's healthy yet.
Well, they had no
So,
choice, really. He had
yeah.
to be thrown into the fire. I think too what Bryce might be learning too, because I'm assuming his junior and senior year at Belleville, he could rely purely on his athletic ability. You know, now he's got to develop. He stepped up into a different tier of football, right? Like it's just like when college players become rookies in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position. Some of them could have basically lean on their athleticism for the majority of the way. And I think doesn't matter how many passes he threw incomplete, Bryce's athleticism was on full display. We know he can throw the ball hard. We know he can throw the ball far. We know he can run. We know he can make the right decision. It just now comes down to making sure that he does all of the technical things correctly, you know, the small stuff, maybe taking a little bit off those line drives he's throwing, like fastballs, when he figures it out. But let's hope in the next 3 weeks, 1 week off, 2 weeks playing lesser Big Ten opponents, because, you know, we saw what happened on Saturday, or what almost could have happened, that he can take advantage of that, because that last game of the year is looming and it's getting close and it's coming fast, and we need to take it very seriously.
Well, even like look at the linebacker position. Like Barham had to go back and play linebacker. He played what, 2 snaps?
Yep.
Then we had Chase Taylor, true freshman. Nathaniel, I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Oshua Buthe.
We'll figure it out by the end of the year.
Yeah, like true freshman. 2 true freshmen playing 25 snaps, 8 snaps. It's like, if you go by these snap counts, like Dominic Nichols, 25 snaps at edge. It's crazy how young this team is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's moving forward. I think we're going to be really good. And I think Moore is building something. And this might be a very unpopular opinion. Unfortunately for Morris, he had to rebuild everything Harbaugh didn't do. Harbaugh didn't leave the cabinet that full.
No, it was pretty bare.
Okay? No quarterback, 2 NCAA sanctions. Took a number of key coaches, took the strength coach, who was probably one of the biggest culture builders at Michigan. And he left so late in the process because they won the national championship. It didn't leave Moore very much room to move around.
Well, we saw that last year.
Yeah, and then you had the 30-day window of just trying to keep guys, plus the guys that left for the NFL this year.
Mm-hmm.
Moore starting to do it. Do I agree with some of his clock management, going for 2 when he shouldn't? No, I think he has a lot to learn there. But I do think he's building something that's going to be really good. It's going to take patience, something that college football doesn't have.
That's very true.
And I think you're starting to see it with the coaching carousel that's that's already started and about to take place, of how many coaches are actually going to be let go. Because it's make the playoff or you're gone. And it should be like that at Michigan.
Should be.
But
and
I was the one who wanted Harbaugh fired after 3 years.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir.
Just like we said about Underwood, and this time next year, if we're having this same conversation, this conversation is going to be a lot different. And if we're having the same conversation about Moore, me saying patience is going to be a lot different than what it's going to sound like next year if we're looking like this.
Oh, big time. Oh, his seat will be on fire if this is happening next year. He'll be beyond hot seat. It'll be finish this year and get out. Get your stuff and get out, because this can't happen 2 years in a row with the talent we have, the young talent that will all have a year of starting or, being a 1A or 1B starter technically with all these true and redshirt freshmen that you listed earlier in the pod. Like those guys are going to have to be, I'm not going to say miles ahead of where they are now, but the game should slow down for all of them once they get 12 games under their belt.
Because if they look like this next year, we're both going to be looking like this.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like
we're going to forget how to spell too, because we're going to be so angry.
Yeah, it can't look like this next year. But I'm willing to give them time.
At least, oh yeah. I mean, like you said, last year was the cupboard bare year. There was a lot going on, and this year was, the start of the Underwood era. And he's a true freshman. I feel like we're talking in circles here about it, but there's not much more to say. Like we need to win these next 2 games before we need to beat Northwestern. Let's just start there. That's all we need to be. That's all
there's no with this team. There's no getting ahead of yourself.
No, they're not good enough.
I'm not even close to looking at Ohio State yet. Ohio State looks like a freight train.
Mm-hmm. And we look like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes, like I don't know how that game's gonna look. I kind of have a feeling Dave's not gonna make the same mistakes he made last year.
I can guarantee he won't.
I think you're gonna see a very high flying game, and that's not good for us.
No, it's not.
But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We can't really control it.
Nope.
Let's just get there undefeated. Let's see what they can do out of the bye.
Yeah.
Well, not undefeated, but let's get.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Undefeated because as soon as you lost that second game, it's like we said in one of the pods. This is a new season.
Mm-hmm.
And you needed to go. I think it was 6-0. They made it halfway.
Yeah, there you go.
Now they're on the second half of the second part of the season. Now they have to make it that other halfway.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, I don't even know if that's going to be enough to get them in the playoff. It sounds weird. I always thought like a 10-2 team, Michigan team would always get in, especially a win over Ohio State.
Yeah, but there could be a 10-1 Ohio or a 11-1 Ohio team and an 11-1.
Well, with the
12-1
Ohio State and Indiana, I think are pretty much locks. Okay,
yeah, for the Big Ten championship.
No one's going to beat them. Oregon has some work to do with USC, and I forget who else. They have another team. I was looking at the schedule today, but they got a tough little road ahead for them.
Well, Washington. They have to play Washington.
Yeah, so somehow Oregon loses both of those. They're going to be on the outside looking in too.
That's true.
This could be a year where you might only see three Big Ten teams get into this thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, there might be some other deserving teams.
USC, I think, has a better shot of getting in, and it's not because they're 2 spots ahead of us. It's like Iowa being a spot ahead of us too. I think that's the cut line. Iowa and us, even a win, I don't think it's going to be enough. And I never thought I would say that.
Well, we live in a strange new world.
Like the way the committee kind of has this thing laid out. Well, even if you look at Miami beat Notre Dame. Miami beat Notre Dame, and they're 8 spots behind them.
They're not getting
2 losses. Oh,
ACC's getting 1 team.
Yeah. I asked some.
It's going to be Virginia.
I asked some other guys to jump on here, and we'll get into that once we can bring them on. But yeah, like the playoff is going to be really good this year, I think. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think there's about 6
It'll be
teams.
interesting to see who gets in.
I think there's 6 teams that have a chance of possibly winning it. And that's it. To me, it should have never been a 12-team playoff. I think the most you should have went to is 8 because it kind of waters it down. Because let's be honest.
At least they didn't go to 16.
Oh, don't worry. Wait till they get to 21.
Oh, 21.
So, let's bring on your buddy,
Oh, I don't have any friends.
Oh, you have a friend, and we could talk CFP.
Ugh. Here we go.
The Mr. Buckeye himself.
Yep.
Dr. Mario D'Agostino. Mario, what's going on, buddy?
How's it going, guys? I surely hope that you can't hear a crying child in the background, but you probably most assuredly can.
It's okay.
That's why I'm in my garage.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
That sound that you just heard was me the last 4 years after the Michigan game. So,
oh boy,
it feels appropriate. Boy. It feels appropriate. Hi guys, how's it going?
How's it going?
So, as a Buckeye fan, what did you think of the first rankings?
I mean, I think for me, these things are going to shake themselves out one way or another, right? At least in terms of where Ohio State's at. So I was kind of drinking the Kool-Aid. I was hearing all these other maybe alternate arguments that maybe Indiana would have been ranked first, or maybe even Texas A&M being ranked in front of Ohio State. I mean, I think Ohio State's the best team in the country right now, but I could see arguments for putting Indiana, I guess to a certain extent, Texas A&M in front of them as well. But the only thing that matters to me is where this ranking is at the end of the year, right? Like a lot of this now is just fodder. ESPN has to manufacture a TV show that everybody watches every Tuesday night, and so this is what we're doing. But there's only one. Like, to me, the biggest thing is, Michigan holds at 2 losses and Ohio State holds at undefeated. And oh boy, are we going to have quite the matchup that last Saturday in November, right?
Well, not if Michigan keeps playing the way they played against Purdue. I don't think it'll be even a game to watch if that's what continues.
Yeah.
If you're playing, what was it, 14 freshmen that are either redshirt freshmen or true freshmen, it's hard to look good. I'm going to bring on another guy, a Penn State.
Or when your quarterback can't hit a pass.
Oh yeah, that'd be true too. We're going to bring on a Penn State guy and get his thoughts on the playoff, considering they're way out of it.
You just got to rub it in, make ourselves feel better.
Talk about salt in the wounds, Jesus.
We got Mr. Kyle Golick from Natty Sports Now. Kyle, what's going on, my man?
Maple Mike, you love dumping the salt in my wounds, don't you?
Well, yeah, I've been telling you for 2 years you have to fire Franklin, and you guys finally did it.
I didn't think he really needed fired, and I think we're going to go backwards with it. So, I mean, I guess you got your wish of neutralizing Penn State from being relevant.
Well, I think we both have the same guy in mind. I told you I would get, and I said within 2-3 years you guys would have a national championship with Joe Brady.
Well, I don't think he's going to college. I think he's going to stay in the NFL. I think he's going to be the Miami Dolphins' next head coach whenever they get rid of McDaniel.
Because that would be one hell of a hire. Even Pat from the old Northwestern coach.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I like it.
See, if Penn State somehow landed Fitzgerald, I would consider that an even draw from the jump. I mean, I'm not going to be jumping for hoops or anything. I mean, I'm fat for starters. But you land a Pat Fitzgerald, who, when you really look at what he accomplished at Northwestern, I mean, he's the program's all-time winningest coach by leaps and bounds. And I think he's responsible for 8 out of their 10 bowl wins. So it's like, what happens if you take a Pat Fitzgerald where it's like you got to live with this almost Ivy League rigor in the Big Ten, and you take him to Penn State where it's like, okay, Pat, I need you to get the absolute best athletes. And, oh, yeah, we have all this money with dead presidents on it. Please spend it at your leisure.
And
as long as you win, you can stay here.
And you don't have to get guys who know how to read.
Yeah, that's for Pennsylvania. That's for the school up the road.
You can get guys who don't know how to read and spell their name. Don't worry, we'll let them in.
Just talking mad trash.
It's okay. They do it at Michigan too. I heard some of those guys talk. Trust me, they can't spell their name either.
Okay. Well, here at the end of the day, what if you bring in a math prodigy? Okay, you're not necessarily hoping he's fluent with the Taco Bell menu in Spanish, right?
No.
So if you're bringing someone in to major in football, because that's what it is anymore,
Yep.
do you really care if they know what is on the Magna Carta?
No.
Or if they read To Kill a Mockingbird?
No.
You just hope they can throw, they can hit, they can do whatever. So,
man, Kyle's makes such great points.
Yes. So let's get into this first ranking.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is there anybody you could see? Because I already have one team in mind that the committee's already telling you they're not getting in. And for me, it's Miami.
Oh, I think that's a given. It's Mario. He's going to melt down at some point. The team, I think they basically told, good luck with that. Unless they win their conference, is Louisville.
Them too.
They really put them behind the 8 ball. They really love themselves some Big 12. I honestly think, I am shocked they put Oklahoma over Utah, to be honest with you. I thought there was going to be 3 Big 12 teams in this. You look at the rankings, BYU and Texas Tech are the class. I think they're just, I don't think they want to, because if they give a Big 12 or an ACC a third team, and the Big 10's probably going to carry 3 themselves, they're not ready to have that conversation yet, unfortunately.
Well, I don't think the Big Ten's getting 4 this year.
Oh, there's no.
They don't deserve it.
No.
Who are they going to put in?
So the Big Ten, as long as Oregon keeps doing what they're doing, keeps winning.
Well,
I think you see the 3 Big Ten teams that are going to be there with Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon.
But if everything holds the way it is and Michigan wins out and beats Ohio State, that's not enough. We don't think that's enough for Michigan.
I don't think they're going to put Michigan in even if they beat Ohio State because the way the offense.
So they would be 10-2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, your losses are to Oklahoma, which if Oklahoma's hanging around, it isn't a bad loss. Who else?
USC.
They lost to USC. Which is ranked ahead of them.
I thought it was.
Their best wins would be at home to Washington. They beat Washington at home. And then Ohio State and Nebraska on the road. But Nebraska proved to be poop.
Nebraska's proven not to be as good a team as we thought they were when Michigan
we'll manage to lose to them somehow. So
self-deprecating Big Ten talk. All right.
I absolutely no. I think if Michigan won out, it's hard to keep them out with that resume.
I agree. I
don't know. I got a feeling they would be.
That might be the one case.
How
the Big Ten would get 4 teams. Whether or not Oregon would stay in. If Oregon wins out too, and Michigan wins out, those are both 2-loss Big Ten teams. But I guess Michigan would have beaten the number 1 team in the country. That would be maybe what the committee would put them in over Oregon.
Yeah,
I think the chaos would start is if USC beats Oregon, and then Oregon, Michigan, and USC are all sitting there with 2 losses.
But if Michigan beats the number 1 team in the country, I think that should leapfrog any other.
I don't know if they would because where they put him, especially considering they put Iowa and USC in front of them.
Let's not forget how many tickets the winged helmet will sell.
Well, yes, there's always that factor too. Let's be honest.
Let's not kid around. We're talking about the NIL era of college football. It was about money before, during, and after it. So
ESPN might pick up that red phone and dial the committee inside and say, "Oh, what are we doing here? We need to put some asses in seats fast."
Yeah.
Well,
for everyone.
Here's the other thing. So, are you telling me Washington has no shot if they win out? Because
I don't think Washington's getting in either. I think they're too far back. At this point, they're too far back.
Well,
because
if they win out, that includes a win over Oregon.
Their best one would be over Oregon. They lost to Michigan. They lost to Ohio State.
And those would be their 2 losses.
Who else?
They lost to Ohio State.
Who else did they play? What would be their signature win besides Oregon?
Oregon would be their signature win.
Oregon, the last game of the year, would be their signature win.
Unless USC beats them.
And Illinois looks like it'll win out, and they'll be 9-3. So that's another great win for the resume.
The only problem with Oregon would be is if USC and Washington beat them, then it's not a very good win at that point because they would have lost to the 3 quality teams they actually played.
Yeah, I think Washington can make if they win out. They got the schedule. They play exactly, in my opinion, outside of Penn State, the 3 worst teams in the Big Ten before they play Oregon. So if they're 10-2, and with the wins that they have, it's like it's hard to keep them out because the SEC is going to cannibalize each other. Like, are you telling me?
Well, yeah, because you got
your logic here.
Because Texas is going to be gone. Because Texas is probably going to lose to Georgia. Is that this week or next week? I think next week they play Georgia. So Texas is going to be probably gone after that game because that would put them with what 3 losses.
Look at the polls. Like, look at this poll. Like, this is an invitational, folks. You got 7. They're saying there's 7. The 7th best SEC team is in the top 16. Like there's logically that don't make sense at all whatsoever.
Well, it's the problem is you get this bias because of these preseason polls, and then these teams sit in there week 1 and week 2, and it's crazy because
when ESPN had the audacity of when the Jordan Travis Florida State injury, like, I know you guys are happy you're taking off. You didn't care whether it was Alabama or Florida State because you were going to go B2A on them anyways. But here's the thing. The fact that they were able to tell an undefeated Power 4 team at the 14 playoff that you're not one of the 4 best teams because of whatever, it goes to show how much of this is an invitational first and foremost, and what ESPN wants to put on its TV screens or stream or whatever the measurement is. Like, there is no way the 7th best SEC team is better than the third best teams in the other power conferences. It doesn't make sense.
Well, look what they're telling the ACC here. They're pretty much telling the ACC, yeah, whoever plays in your championship game and wins is getting it.
That's it.
That's it.
And think about it, they still got to give a group of 5 team an invite. And Notre Dame is, because they don't have a conference and they have access, is going to snake a spot.
Especially considering Notre Dame lost their 2. It was early, but the rest of their schedule hasn't been very good.
Hey, what do you think about this? The group of 5 school, the automatic bid, if they all have 2 losses, they automatically lose their automatic bid.
No, how about this? How about you just
be in the playoffs?
How about you just get rid of them, period?
Look, take it from here. I'm going to beat up on myself some more. And Maple Mike can attest to this. My ass drove a rental car from downtown Los Angeles to Phoenix, Arizona on New Year's Eve, like several months ago, to watch Penn State play Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. I was essentially driving 12 hours that day, 6 out and 6 back, in a lose-lose situation. If Penn State wins, which
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because the rest of the nation's like, you were supposed to. But if for God's sake and reason, if Ashton Genty would have gone Barry Sanders on Penn State, it would have been embarrassing to the highest of order. to me, you can't. It's just it doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. The group of five got to go do their own little thing. If we're going to do this as an invitational, because this is what this truly is, and I'm going to always believe in it until it is an objective way of making it. You can't have Memphis or Boise State or South Florida or a school from BFE make it. You got to keep it to your 4 power conferences. If you're going to go to 16 teams, each Power 4 conference gets 4 bids, and you play it out.
That's the way it should be. The problem is they want it to be like March Madness, where you're going to get this Cinderella story, and Sister Jean's going to come out, and Loyola's going to make a run. The problem is in football, in basketball, one guy can get you there. 2 guys hot can get you there. In football, there's too many moving pieces for one of these teams to come out and compete.
And you kill your body every time.
It's not going to happen.
You can't have 6 weeks of playoffs when you have 12 weeks of regular season.
So would the most objective measure now to just go back to the BCS computer system and let it rank by teams?
Why not?
I think you give each Power 4 conference the same amount of bids and let them figure out how they're going to put it in. SEC gets 4.
I think it should.
Big Ten gets 4. And for the Big Ten and the SEC argument of, well, we have so much more talent, well, you do because you decided to chase the bag. You don't get rewarded because you chase the bag. You guys as a conference voted these other teams in. You decided to take Texas and Oklahoma. The Big Ten decided to take USC,
powerhouses of Maryland and Rutgers,
and these other schools. Now you deal with it. And if other teams want to leave, I'm sure the ACC would love. I'm sure the ACC would love to have some of these teams.
Well, in my opinion, and this is just from me covering and actually have gone through the rigor of this, it's unsustainable for a lot of folks to even attempt to cover this if your team goes the full distance. Like, think about it. You might, like, as a Big Ten person, you may end up in if you win the Big Ten championship the way it's presently constructed, Maple Mike would have to leave the 49th parallel, come on down to Indianapolis. Then he'd have to return to the 49th parallel and pay his duty. Then he'd have to come back over the 49th parallel again to go to Pasadena because the Big Ten champion's going to be in the Rose Bowl, return back to his igloo, and then determine if he has to go back to Arizona or the Peach Bowl. And God forbid, if Michigan were to make it to Miami, he would have to return again. And let me tell you, that is a lot of money for this.
I was going to say, how much do you think plumbers make?
I mean, you're pointing out a great point. And like, as you're saying this, I'm thinking about Big Ten Media Days in Las Vegas and how many beat writers of respective Big Ten teams didn't even make it out.
I couldn't make it. You saw how much a room was for the Bellagio.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it. And then, like, what are you seriously going to do? I'm going to drop 2 G's to go out there and hear some kid regurgitate some script he memorized.
Well, yeah. And as soon as you go to one, you realize how much these guys are coached and taught what to say. You're really not getting nothing. Some of the coaches might drop a line here and there if you get lucky. Like Deshaun Foster, the first year, where he gave you a lot to write about.
Or you do what I did and piss James Franklin off and say, like, he gave a rant and he had to correct me in his answer before then giving his dissertation on it. But anyhow,
yeah, for the most part, you don't get nothing.
Let me bring this one point up, and I got to experience this last year. A home playoff game was absolutely electric. Granted, it was against SMU. Again, another playoff win no one cares about. I mean, you Michigan fans look at our playoff resume and you just go, "That's pathetic. Don't even sit at our table." It's like Mean Girls. Ohio State and Michigan looks at our thing. Even Oregon does and goes, "You call that a playoff resume? Go sit over at that table." We're not ready to sit there.
Go sit at the little kids' table. You don't get to sit at the big boy table.
I know. We get to go sit beside Michigan State.
Mario
That's where we get to go sit beside.
Mario went to the Ohio State playoff game last year.
Oh yeah,
and
so
that looked
Mario,
electric at home.
What's that?
You went to the Ohio State game last year, and that looked electric.
It was insane. It was like
this was absolutely phenomenal.
It was honestly, like I understand the money that every Big Ten program needs from Fox based on that TV deal, but leaving that stadium after that game just made me really upset about the lack of real tangible night games that happen in Columbus on account of Big Noon, right? Like it was awesome.
I'll be honest, I used to love night games. Now covering a team, I can't stand night games.
And shout out to the Tennessee fans too, because there's like 35% of that stadium made the drive from Tennessee.
The tailgate was off the chain. Like Penn State, it was like there was snow and ice. People didn't care. It was just electric. And it's like, why can't these schools make money off of this? Why are we allowing the Peach Bowl? And like, I love the Peach Bowl, but why do we send in all that down there? Like, I'm Beaver Stadium. I thought I could fit 110,000 folks in here and make a lot of money.
And why? And to your point too, Kyle, like I feel like the real advantage for, like, if you really want to make being in the top 4 advantageous, let those teams play at home and not, like, if Ohio State wins out, I would rather them have to play a team from the SEC in Columbus in the 3rd week of December than sending them out to I guess it would be in January if it's the Rose Bowl, right? Like, just bring these teams up north.
Bring them north.
That's
100%, man.
That's what made last year's awesome too, is because Tennessee came to Columbus.
Yeah.
SMU came to Happy Valley. These are teams that aren't going to cross into these northern states this late in the year.
It was cold, man. That
October 15th
was cold.
If you're going to play an SEC team and you're from the north and you want them to come here, they ain't coming after October 15th.
Well, it gets into sort of like this has been something that's been talked about for some time with college football, of just like teams that don't have to play in bad weather are usually constructed to go out and win a track meet, because the biggest games of the year are usually played in Dallas or on AstroTurf, right?
In Atlanta,
or in Atlanta. Yeah. And so like Big Ten teams don't really have that luxury, because you might get trapped at Northwestern on a Saturday where the wind's like 40 miles an hour.
And just voodoo comes out of the ground.
I mean, well, yeah.
You go to West Lafayette,
yes,
and it's just, for some reason that night the engineers of Purdue puts out a Boilermaker, and all they're doing is just running like dinks and dunks and making your life a living hell. I mean, we've all lived this, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's different in that regard. That's why when you look at how they're trying to keep a bowl system together and a playoff system, it can't coalesce this much longer. I'm telling you, just having experience, like Mario's seen it, I've seen it. You guys saw it on TV, but you can probably deduce the same things we saw in person. Like, these schools have this insatiable appetite for money.
Yeah.
And they want all of it. They don't care. I'm waiting for them to turn on one another. That's going to be the next thing. It's like,
are we going to get to?
I think the Big Ten's too big.
Are we going to get to relegation? Is this going to be European style?
I think the private equity discussion will bring some of that out first before you see any relegation happening. But
because think about it. If you're Michigan, if you're a Penn State, if you're Ohio State, Oregon, even USC, why would you want to have the same share as an Iowa or a Northwestern or a Rutgers even?
Well, you're seeing it in other conferences already, right? You see the ACC starting to shift to that model where it's not going to be even shares anymore, where you're going to see the Florida States and Miamis get more. And it's going to happen in the Big Ten. Next TV deal, I think you're going to see that where you're going to have 4 or 5 of the top programs get a bigger chunk than the other ones. And And at the end of the day, when you have these other programs bringing in millions of viewers, and the other ones are on Big Ten Plus, 8 of their 12 weeks, it's inevitable.
I currently don't have ESPN on YouTube TV, so I don't really want to hear about streaming packages or anything else at the moment. Another carriage dispute.
Well,
another money grubbing.
If you FaceTime me, I will turn the camera towards the TV, and you can watch it from my house if you want.
Well, if you're a Big Ten
what an
person,
experience!
You're right. You're right.
Like this probably is the smartest thing they ever did was leave there and be at Fox, CBS, and NBC, because it's like they're not going to shut down all three of those at once.
My 77-year-old uncle, who's a diehard Ohio State fan, does not understand streaming in any way, shape, or form, but he can continue to watch Ohio State because of NBC, CBS, and Fox. And he's gotten good enough with his phone now that when they are on the Big Ten network and he doesn't get it, he just listens to it on the radio on his phone. So it's like, but you're absolutely right. Like they leaned into like what could expand the most of our viewership, and not hiding it behind the ESPN app or whatever that streaming service is.
The one thing the Big Ten is the best at is making money. Between the Big Ten network, the schools, and everybody else, the Big Ten is better than every other conference at making money.
They are. And the thing that I love where the Big Ten's positioned at, and this is why there's going to be another round of expansion. The Big Ten's going to get bigger, is they don't have enough inventory to keep all three of those networks happy. That's the thing. They're going to it's going to be out of necessity, and it's going to be like, okay, we're going to cannibalize the ACC. So who can we lure away?
Oh man,
that's the next one.
Bring me Duke and North Carolina into the Big Ten. Let's go.
Oh,
and I can see that just because they own the rights to basketball too, right?
Yeah.
You bring in a Duke, North Carolina. Now your TV market's going literally from September to the end of March.
My dream four would be Duke, North Carolina, Notre Dame, and the University of Miami, Florida.
So for me, this is where I think would be the smart play for the Big Ten. And this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out. Stanford and Cal out west, because you're going to need to pod the West Coast teams, and that cures that pod. East-wise, I am all about getting Florida State and Miami.
See, I would go out. I like your idea going out there, but I'm going into the state of Texas, and I'm getting Texas Tech and Baylor and keeping it right along the coast, and then going to I would get Duke and North Carolina. I like
Duke and Carolina is an interesting package, but I think they're going to end up in the SEC.
I don't think both. I don't know. I got a feeling one of them is going to end up in the Big Ten.
It does. What Kyle said about Cal and Stanford makes sense, because then we'd have 6 teams in the West.
But they don't bring no monetary value.
Yeah, but the Big Ten loves academic institutions.
Yeah, but I think they're going away from that. I think this is starting to go away from that, where you had to be a part of that research platform.
Yeah, I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it, Mike.
Maryland and Stanford, classic Big Ten match.
You know what's gonna bring them away from it? That next TV deal when it's $18 billion instead of 10.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the Big Ten's inventory is that it's only gonna go up. Like, it's never gonna regress, right? So there'll be enough money for everybody. Don't worry.
Well, like I said, I think they want to make sure they get to a point where they see the SEC numbers that everyone keeps propagating. Yeah. And there's a kernel of truth to that. When Penn State is down, when Michigan isn't there, when USC isn't there, that hurts. It hurts this league, because let's be honest, no one in the nation gives a F about Indiana. They don't. It's just the truth. Okay. No one gives a F about Iowa. It's the truth. It doesn't measure. It doesn't get anybody's attention. Your biggest brands have to be doing, and that's what the SEC's been fortunate of. I mean, look at this top 25. I mean, grant you, Florida is in LSU are a tire fire, but look at the brands that are there. They out it's at the top. That's why they're in the position they're in. You look at where USC is. You look at where Washington is. These programs, they're not getting that respect because they just don't have that cachet.
No, they don't. Not yet. Not yet, but I think you're starting to see finally NIL start leveling everything where these top teams don't have the depth that they used to either.
No.
It's not like the days of –
happen.
It's not – wasn't it Kirby Smart who came out last week and was even saying, like, yeah, we're nowhere near where we used to be depth-wise?
Oh, yeah. It's across the board. I mean –
It's because it – and as these other teams – because – Washington's got a lot of money. USC has probably more money than any school on this board. These guys start spending. The sky's the limit for some of these programs. God forbid if Harvard
was realizing that everyone has dead presidents and it's green. And that's what these players want. And if you got a coach like Kirk Cignetti who can outwit and out-scheme, you're going to be successful. It's a leveling of the playing field. It's going to get to a point where the only way you're ever going to see teams kind of reassert themselves is if they decide to just simply outspend the other. But then you're going to run into situations like up at Penn State here. You gotta believe that this year was $100 million investment between player salaries and obviously the James Franklin buyout, bringing in Jim Knowles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That ROI is hurting. And again, these super schools, like if Ohio State had a hiccup, how much patience would they exercise? I mean, you guys had to go through a little bit of tumult there in Ann Arbor, and I think you're starting to come back up. I mean,
decade and a half of my life.
Well, I'm talking more of this recent run after Harbaugh's 3-year run in the espionage saga.
Yeah. Harbaugh's run and Connor Stallions. Don't forget that.
Here we go.
I would just for the record, I would hire
people remember Kyle.
I would call the Navy Academy and hire 5 guys and line them up with binoculars just for the Ohio State game in uniform.
I mean, Michigan's starting to turn a corner, which is good. So, I mean, I'm hoping my guys can turn the corner starting next year. But instead of playing O State, now we got to go to the big house and probably get smashed again.
No, but for you guys, it's all about if you can just get that right guy, because you have the finances, you have the resources, right? It's just getting the next guy. The problem is finding that next guy. Have you heard anybody of who it's starting to shape up as? Or an idea of who the front runners are?
Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw my ex post that went quasi-viral with like 500,000 views and whatnot of me capturing Ryan Day talking to Pat Kraft after the Ohio State, Penn State debacle.
Yeah, I seen that.
So much like I said there, and literally Brian Hartline darted right off the field and beelined off and didn't talk to a soul. So I have to assume Hartline has to be near the top. There's a lot of, there's this one channel and they were like, Urban Meyer just didn't know how to handle NIL. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Here's a guy that is so self-aware of his brand. Mario, have you been to Urban Meyer's Pint House in Dublin?
I have not actually been to Urban Meyer's Pint House. No.
I have. I got the picture of the infamous stool, and we'll just leave it at that because we're a family program. So if you go in there, they literally have plastered on there that Urban Meyer's 7-0.
He's 7-0, yeah.
Against Michigan, but they always forget the fact that when he was the head coach at Florida, he lost to Michigan. He has so much, it's so to him, like the branding and everything. Are you telling me that he couldn't put 2 and 2 together and figure this era out? Arguably one of the winningest coaches post World War II. Actually, he has the highest, well, for anyone who's coached more than 100 games, has the highest winning percentage of any coach since who started after World War II. Are you telling me you couldn't figure this out? If you think that he couldn't, I got some swampland down in Florida to sell you, because like this guy on what's his name, Zach Gilab or whatever. He's sitting there, he's like, I got my sources. Well, your sources are full of it. And let me tell you this. That guy needs to rewatch the Mike Francesa schooling Chris Carlin about sources, because it doesn't make sense. The guy hasn't coached in college football since the 2019 Rose Bowl. What makes you think he wants to jump back in? Did anyone notice what he did in the NFL? Like, he's done. He is beyond done. He doesn't want to mess his legacy up. He has a cushy gig. He's making a lot of money. Why do you think he can go up against the machine that he helped create?
And college football life sucks right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You're recruiting your own players.
After every practice. What are you talking about?
Like, it's terrible. Why would he want to come back to this where he could just go sit on set?
No parts of this. So there's no Urban Meyer. Marcus Freeman. Okay, the guy's literally said no many times to everybody. Okay, so then Mike Elko, who's the flavor of the month. Oh, he's from Jersey. He knows the Mid-Atlantic. Do people not realize that Texas A&M is a top 5 job with the amount of, with the natural fertile recruiting ground? Like, Mike Elko could just say, I'm going to just recruit players in a 3-hour radius of College Station. And if he were to keep the best athletes at A&M within a 3-hour radius, he could probably be a perennial playoff team every year. And their facilities and resources are out of this world. That is a top 5 job. Okay.
Oh yeah. Look at what did they pay to get rid of what's his name? Jumbo? 95 million. There's always a booster ready to sign a check at that school.
Oh yeah. So, dude, you're not getting Elko. Then everyone's like, what about Brent Key? What did Brent Key say today? He goes, I bleed the Yellow Jackets. I'm the rambling wreck from Georgia Tech. So there's no Brent Key coming.
Then but that could be like when Lincoln Riley said he wasn't interviewing for the LSU job because he was interviewing for the USC job the day before.
Dude, did you ever see Lincoln Riley do barbecue?
No.
Okay. Look at that and then realize, like, you shouldn't be surprised. Kalen DeBoer's not leaving Alabama.
No.
Like I said, like I said, if anyone checks out my top 5 over at NittanySportsNow.com, okay, shameless plug here on Wolverine backers, but I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. My number 1 candidate's Ryan Silverfield from Memphis, and even I sometimes think I'm full of it a little bit there. He you know what he's done in the past 5 years, that program is amazing. And he should have 3 consecutive double-digit winning seasons. If Memphis is the highest-ranked team going in the college football playoff from group to 5, that's going to be something for them. And even if not, still what he's done has been impressive. My number 2 is, I'm just trying to go through it. Bob Chesney from James Madison, call it the Kirk Cignetti effect for him.
I like him. You're gonna see a lot of these top jobs head to the group of 5. because of this. Signetti's gonna. Well, he has got a lot of guys paid. Look at Matt Rule. Just the rumor he got paid, and he's what 0-8 against top 20. He's the new James Franklin.
Lane Kiffin will always be the James Franklin. That guy's going to get bank. That guy's going to get bank.
Like Matt Rule's 0-8 against top 25 teams, 2-24 in his career. And he just falls up to jobs. Oh, look, this job's opening. Let's call Matt Rule. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't think Penn State's going to get the home run higher. I think they're going to regress on it. Keep this in mind. James Franklin was the fourth winningest coach in the 3.5 season stretch up to his firing, but for coaches that remained at the same school. So the only ones who had more were Day, Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, and he was fourth. Kalen DeBoer made a switch, and if you include him, I think Franklin was either up a win or down a win on him. Like, coaches look at that. They know all that stuff. Like, if and people go, well, Franklin was 0 for the century against top 10 teams. Okay, true. But let's also understand this. You can't judge him from the beginning because he got all his. You have to judge him from on his current deal. Do you realize from 2022 to 2024 was the winningest 3-year stretch for Penn State since 1980 to 1982?
Yeah, the only teams you guys lost to were Michigan and Ohio State.
Okay. Hey, what do you want me? What do you I trust me. I want Penn State to beat those teams. I really, really do. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. But when you're that close, where it is, look at this guy. He's back. But when you're that close and you're going to say, hey, I can do better than you with that, you better find your Kirby Smart or else Pat Kraft's going to be out of a job. There's no doubt about it. Because, let's be honest, he put his nuts on the table for this move here, paying a lot of money, getting rid of Franklin, all the instability. So now it's like, what are you going to do to improve this? Look, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to say in 2026 that, oh, Penn State sucks, so fire Kraft. No, I'm going to give the guy 2 years tops. And if this guy doesn't show like we're at the Kraft manifesto, oh, dude, you'll see content of, it's time for Kraft to go. Because it's like, guy comes out to the press conference after he fires Franklin. He's like, watch this again. He doesn't wear a suit. He's literally in Nike gear. Like, he just got off the treadmill or something. Like, oh, I'm just coming down to talk to you guys for 10 minutes. And he's wearing this women's volleyball national championship ring this big. Like, he was out there making kills, spikes, and whatever they do in volleyball. Like, bro. Like, and he's out there sounding like, like he's one of the guys. I'm like, okay, there's two ways I can take this. Either this guy's he's really approachable. Like, I like Pat, so I don't want people to misconstrue this. But sometimes you got to dress for the occasion. You got to show up in the suit. Don't wear the gaudy women's national championship ring that you did nothing for. You just signed some checks and make sure that they did things right. Show up, be the professional, and answer it straight. I wasn't a fan of his presser. I'll be the first one to tell you.
So I got a question for Mario. Out of these, let's say out of the top 10, is there any team you wouldn't want to play here?
I mean, I don't know. As of right now, like, no, I think like I'm good with whoever gets into the top 12 at the moment. The variable for me that changes things is if Ohio State gets a rash of bad luck, or things happen on a player front, right? But like, I mean, I think Alabama's probably the most talented team in the field. So I'm always worried about them. I really want Ohio State to win out to play Indiana in what would be ostensibly a road game for them. That would be phenomenal for me to see Ohio State go into Indianapolis and beat Indiana.
Well, you are
what's that?
You are a 3.5 point favorite as of right now in that game.
I mean, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like Ryan Day has been incredibly measured this year and how he's approached his game planning. I mean, they are they were bottom 5 pace of play last year. They've done the same thing this year. And so I think there's kind of maybe an expectation, but certainly a waiting amongst the fan base that when they get to a playoff game that he's just going to open it up again like he did last year. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't predicting what happened last year to happen after the Michigan game. I'll tell you that much, leaving Ohio Stadium after that debacle. So we'll see.
Some people predicted it. So
I mean, it's not on film. It's not recorded. It never happened.
Realistically, out of these teams, how many of them actually have a shot at winning a national championship?
One.
I'm at 4.
4?
Yeah.
Maybe 5? Is Oregon good? Does anybody are we
don't know.
Are we ready to ask this question? Is Oregon actually good? Do we know if Oregon's good at all or?
Well, Kyle, you've seen them in person, right?
I have.
Are they good?
Yes.
I think the problem with Oregon is what happened to Penn State kind of killed their schedule. And then you lose at home to Indiana. But I think Indiana's really good. But Oregon doesn't play anybody else till now. So we're going to find out, right? Because they got USC and Washington.
Let's not shit on Oregon, okay? Because before the season, one of the things that I said was Oregon was either the 3rd or 4th best team in the league. That's where they're at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why? There's no need to take a dump on them.
I agree with that. For a minute there, I earlier in the year, I was thinking they might actually be better than they were last year. Now I'm not so convinced of that.
I got to see a lot of Oregon last year, and the difference is Dante Moore next year he's going to be lethal. Gabriel was so experienced in Stein's scheme, and it just felt like Bo Nix 2.0 with them, that he was completing 75-76% of his passes. They had better running backs. They had better receivers. I mean, Tez Johnson was an absolute monster. And they don't have, in the trenches like they had. They lost Derek Harmon to the draft. Jordan Birch. I'll send you guys a picture I took of Jordan Birch at the Rose Bowl media press conferences. Holy hell, big. I just think at wide receiver, Decorian Moore has just been phenomenal. But wait till he gets another year of experience; he's going to be fantastic. And Brandon Finney is a monster at defensive back. This is a team that I think is going to be better here the second half of the season. Essentially now going in the playoffs because they've been tested, they've gotten the experience, and they're starting to, I think, peak. I think they're going to beat up on Washington. And I think they're going to host a playoff game. I'm telling you what, the loudest stadium I've been to is the Zoo. And trust me, you leave there with your ears bleeding. Those fans, it's like cannibalism saw in a massacre. You're just a sacrificial lamb when the Zoo is at its peak. It's just how that stadium is in the Willamette Valley, and just how everything reverberates. Again, I've been to the Big House. The Big House is just big, wide, and open. That's why the sound doesn't come back to haunt you. And then, I just was at the shoe, and like I said, it's if you could get past all the profanities at you, you're going to be okay at the shoe. So,
I mean, to your point, when Ohio State left Autzen last year, it was sort of well reported amongst the athletic department that they were looking to how they were going to enhance the game experience in Columbus because they were so taken aback by how good it was at Oregon, right?
Oh, it's fantastic. And Penn State, all we care about is making it look like a major motion picture and cinematic. Come to the whiteout. It is by far the most beautiful. It truly is.
You know what? It is cinematic. Now that you say that, I never thought about that. It is really cinematic, actually.
That's our thing. So, you go out to the zoo. It's just be prepared. Like, I don't think that's the one team that I think everyone should fear in the top 12 is you don't want to end up going to the zoo. And I think if they catch fire, that's a team that could make a run in the playoff.
Oh yeah, they got tons of talent across the board. And with Dan help, they lost one of their top receivers before the season even started. So they had to deal with that right off the start. But I like Dante Moore. I liked him when he was at UCLA. I like him now. That kid's going to be awesome.
Well, I mean, it's like all the great Michigan quarterbacks the last few years. They all escaped the state and ran away from you guys.
Well, I don't blame them. But anyway, so boys, let's do this. We've been on long enough and people are tired of hearing our voices. Let's pick a national championship, the two teams, and final score.
Oh, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
Because we have no game to pick this week, thank God. Because if we were playing Northwestern, I might have to pick Northwestern.
Bye. That's right. Michigan's on the bye this week.
Can't lose. I'll start. I'm going to go. It's going to be poop. I don't know. Ohio State, A&M.
Oof.
A&M takes it.
Ah.
Kyle, who you got?
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Alabama versus Oregon.
Ooh, a rematch.
I'm gonna go Ohio State and Bama, and I'm gonna take Ohio State.
That is the matchup. I don't know who wins, but I think that's the matchup. I think it's Ohio State Bama.
I think Ohio State's going to get clipped in a quarterfinal or semifinal. I think this is a team, because they've just been so dominant, they haven't had that test in my mind. And I think it's going to come back to bite them in the playoff.
It's coming in 3 weeks.
Well,
it's coming in 3 weeks.
I mean, we shall see.
I don't think
this is. Boys, I'm just going to tell you this now. The game is in their heads. Okay, it is no different than the COVID reprieve that finally gave Michigan a break from 8 straight.
I don't think it's coming this year. I think Ohio State's gonna.
I'm not saying anything. They were favored 3 of the last 4 years, and they didn't do it. I'm not saying anything.
Dave's gonna throw it all over the field. But
Yeah,
anyways,
so
Kyle,
I think.
thank you for coming on, my brother. You know I love
Are
you.
you going to come visit me at the woodshed next week?
Yes, I'm thinking next week I am going to come and see you at Michigan State. Oh, if you want to hear the ultimate troll, when you get to Michigan State's campus, look at the hospital who bought it. You can't miss it.
Okay.
Michigan bought the hospital next to Michigan State's campus and plowed a big block M at the top of it. So when you go to the stadium, you just see a big block M staring at you in the face.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, if you have fuck you money, you might as well say fuck you at some point.
That's true.
But anyways, Mario, thank you for coming on.
That's like Valeni putting a Doug Karsh in Michigan Stadium.
Yeah, it was at Spartan Stadium. Dressed him up and photoshopped a bunch of Michigan State gear on him. Amazing.
Hey, Kyle, you know I love you. We'll see you next week. Mario, Kyle,
Yep.
Thanks for being on. And as always, we end the show always one way. and I've actually seen Mario spell this before.
Yeah.